How do we take a brand new agency offer to over 100K per month in under 90 days, whilst others are sat there banging their heads against the wall trying to get to 10K per month? Well, after helping hundreds of agency owners and building agencies for the last 4 years for myself, I've proven that the simplest path is always the fastest way to growth. So in this video, I'm going to show you that simple system that you need to get there, and the quickest way for you to fill your calendar with quality sales calls fast. But before we get started, I want to go back in time. I used to believe that more is better. The bigger the sales page, the more objections you could handle, the more services you sold, the more you'd make, the more clients you work with, the better your business would be and the more you'd make too. And this is how I ran my agency for a good few years. But looking back, my entire agency was actually like this weird TV remote. The only problem was that this TV remote had 60 plus buttons and was impossible to use. We thought by having all of these different features, we'd attract all these different types of clients. But actually what happened is our clients would take one look at this TV remote and think, what the fuck is going on? I just came here to watch Yellowstone on Netflix. And what's happening is these agencies that are scaling to 50K per month, they're also using a TV remote, but their TV remote just has a giant fucking big red button on it that says Netflix, nothing else. So what we needed to do was we needed to remove the complexity from our business. So we had to get rid of all the different services. We had to get rid of all the crazy long funnels. We wanted to have a TV remote that just had that big red button on it because that is what our prospects wanted. And we did that. And it worked. So look, how can you start to transform your complicated remote into something that clients can actually use? Well, let me show you the simple system that you need. 50K a month isn't complicated math. If you're charging 3K per month for your services and your average client stays with you for 6 months, you only need 17 active clients to actually get there. This means by landing 3 new clients per month, you'll reach your target in less than 6 months. But most agency owners overcomplicate this. And this is why focusing on a frictionless funnel that's really simple, that actually converts well, and an offer that retains clients is the best way. The math shows that you don't need hundreds of clients to hit that 50K milestone. So look, you can now chill out and relax, mate. You just need to keep things simple. The agencies that I've personally helped scale beyond 50K months all use a funnel with just 3 simple steps: targeted paid ads, a simple well-scripted video sales letter, and a calendar that they can then take book calls on. Second, they implement one clear call to action. They stop all these crazy different lead magnets and free webinars. When you scale into 50K a month, confusion is gonna kill you. Your only CTA should be book a call, not download this or join this community. No one cared about my 19-page lead gen ebook. And I'm sorry to say it, but they probably don't give a shit about yours either. No offense. If you keep it simple and you make it so that a prospect can see your ad, go to your funnel and book a call within 10 minutes, you've now got a system that can actually be scaled. Now, third, you need to focus on 1 to 2 channels for actually driving traffic. Now, I focus on YouTube and paid ads. No short form strategy or cold email. I don't want to overcomplicate things by spreading my focus and attention across all these different platforms and channels. And look, on top of that, even the most simple funnel and the most frictionless funnel is never going to work if what you're actually selling sucks and you're not charging enough. Now, you know when someone tells you to follow your passion, right? Well, back in the day, my passion was fish tanks. And I know it's weird, but hear me out. I love nothing more than fish and the freedom that I could get from building my own business. So in my mid-20s, my best mate and I, which is a story for another time, opened up a luxury aquarium business in London, installing these custom-made fish tanks into the homes of footballers, bankers, and high-end care homes. Now, I was living my fucking fish dream, mate. And the best thing was, our competitors were useless. They charged 5K for essentially the same builds that we were able to charge 50 grand for. Yet we consistently won the business. But it wasn't because I love fish more than all of them, or because I was taller than all of my competitors and I could reach the bottom of the tank easier. But it was because whilst our competitors were busy talking about water filtration systems, LED lights, glass thickness, we were selling something entirely different to them. We were selling the experience of having a living ocean in your home or your office. We'd walk into clients' mansions and never once talk about tank specs. Instead, what we'd talk about is what their guests would feel when entering that living room, how long the kids would spend watching the fish and learning about coral reefs, and how calm and relaxed they'd actually feel having it inside of their home. If I look back at it, we were selling living art pieces, not just fish tanks. And because our prices were so much higher, it meant that we could spend 5 times longer on designing and installing these different tanks. We could hire the best tank builders, with the best coral experts, marine biologists to help with different fish placement. And all of this whilst our competitors had to rush through these crappy installations just to manage their horrible margins. And your agency offer works exactly the same. When you stop listing features like SEO audits, monthly reports, content calendars, and instead you start to focus on the one outcome your client actually cares about, you can charge way more than your competitors. And when you start to package your services around outcomes rather than features, you have to charge what those outcomes are actually going to be worth, and then structure that into your payment model to then start to build up MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. But once you can do this, everything changes. This is why so many agencies stay stuck. They're busy adding more services, more deliverables, and more complexity when the path to scaling is actually doing less, but in a much smarter way. So package up what you already do well and charge what it's actually worth. And then the path to 50K per month becomes incredibly simple. So look, once you've done that, how do you then get people on an actual sales call so you can sell them? Well, the way that we do it is through a simple sales video on a basic landing page. Now, it's actually pretty easy and you can steal our entire framework. I've actually got a full video coming out very soon on this. But in a nutshell, what we cover in that video is what we offer, who we help, what pain they're in, how you help them solve that pain, what are the steps that we take to help them, what objections they likely have, some risk reversal, and then a call to action for them to actually book in a call with us. Now, this entire video on our landing page replaces crazy amounts of text, so they just go there and watch a video now. And the video is like 8 to 12 minutes max. But here's why this works so well. Not only does it filter out time wasters, it actually pre-qualifies serious prospects and does all of the heavy lifting for us, explaining our offer before we even get them on a call. Now, under this video, we just have as many results and case studies as we possibly can add. And then, of course, we have the calendar that they can then book in a call on. Now, you would have seen me talk about it in another video, but we keep friction very low to start with and then keep building more and more as we start to book more and more calls, because then we can understand who's actually qualified and who the offer is going to be a good fit for. And that is literally all you need. Forget all of this other complex rubbish. A landing page with a good headline, a good sales video, a calendar, and a bunch of case studies and results, and you're good. You then just need to drive traffic to it. And to do this, depending on where you're at, you could start with your warm network. Maybe you've got contacts. Now, this often generates immediate leads and gets you your first couple of clients in the door. You could go out there and send cold email. You could message people on LinkedIn. You could create content. But personally, the fastest and the easiest way to go and get traffic to your pages and to actually get clients in the door is just focus on running really low budget paid ads. Now, if you want a video on how we do this for ourselves and all of the clients that we help scale to over 50K per month, let me know down below in the comments. But honestly, spending $20 a day could be all you need to get that snowball effect and start landing clients. You don't need to be spending thousands. We spend anywhere from $80 to $100 to get someone on a sales call. Now, if you can close 1 in 5 of those sales calls, you've just made $5,000 from spending 500. That's a 10x. And then you go and do that over and over and over again. All of the different lead gen methods that you see online, they all work. It just depends on your offer and it depends on where you're at and whether or not that's actually going to be the right choice for you to make. But if you can spend some money, always go down the route of ads. I promise you it's the fastest way. And if you're sat there going, well, none of these lead gen methods have ever worked for me before, it's probably because you haven't had the right offer or the right system to actually send that traffic through. You don't need massive traffic with high ticket offers. 15 quality calls can generate you 30 to 50 grand in new business. A simple funnel, a value-based offer, and a high converting video sales letter with targeted traffic from 1 to 2 channels that you can then focus on mastering is all you need to hit $50,000 months. No complexity, no bullshit, just a simple process. Now, if you want to get a deeper view into the frictionless funnel process that we follow and the same one that we install for all of our clients to help them scale to 50K per month, check this video out right here where I go into detail and show you exactly how it works.